Indeed, holy words long preserved for our work in this world. They resound with God's own heart. Oh, let the ancient words impart. Welcome to the Close to Him Ministries Daily Spiritual Food. We are very delighted you are here once again. And today's spiritual food is taken from John chapter 7, verse 8. You go up to the feast. I am not yet coming up to this feast, for my time has not yet fully come. Beloved brethren, in today's spiritual food, I want us to focus our attention on this very important statement made by Jesus in John chapter 7, verse 8. In this statement, we witness a profound truth about timing and obedience to God's will, as well as the divine plan of God. Jesus, fully aware of his mission and the timeline established by God the Father, chose to act in accordance with that perfect plan. As we explore this passage together, I want us to reflect on the significance of God's timing in our lives. I want us to reflect on the importance of obedience to his will and the profound understanding of Christ's mission. This verse serves as a reminder for us to trust in God's timing and to seek to understand his perfect plan for us. When Jesus tells his brothers to go up to the feast, he acknowledges that they are following societal expectations and the traditions of their time. The Feast of Tabernacles was a very significant event in the Jewish tradition or calendar. It was a time of celebration and remembrance of God's provision, especially during the wilderness journey, as we can see in the book of Numbers. Jesus' brothers were eager for him to join them, possibly for him to gain more followers or to demonstrate his power. But in this, we find a very vital lesson for our lives today. That there are moments when we are called to act in faith, even when we do not fully understand the situation. The brothers were acting on the understanding of the feast, their desires for Jesus to gain recognition. However, their motivations were rooted in worldly expectations, rather than being rooted in the divine purpose of Jesus' coming. As we think about our lives today, we may find ourselves in similar situations, just as the brothers of Jesus. Probably we are sometimes eager to even push God's agenda, thinking that we know what is best for us. Jesus' response should challenge us today to consider whether our actions truly aligns with God's timing or not. We must remember that our faith calls us not to just act, but to also act in accordance with the divine plan and purpose of God for us. Jesus' declaration, I am not yet going up to this feast, reveals his deep understanding of God's timing. It is an example that we have to learn. We must seek to understand God's timing for everything in our lives. He knows that his mission is not merely about attending a celebration. It's about fulfilling the divine purpose that was laid out for him by God. And so his refusal to go at that moment highlights a profound truth that timing truly matters. In our fast-paced world, we often seek immediate answers and quick results. Yet, we should bear in mind that God's timing is not always aligned with our desires. Jesus' mission was set in the context of God's overall plan for salvation. His refusal to go up to the feast teaches us to be patient and to trust that God is working out his purpose in our lives, even when we may not fully understand or comprehend them. Beloved, as followers of Jesus Christ, I want us to learn to seek God's timing in all aspects of our lives. Whether it is in our personal decisions, our ministry efforts, or even in our interactions with others, we are called to wait on the Lord. recognizing that He knows what is best for us. He created us, and so He knows what is best for us. We have to wait upon Him. We have to understand His timing for everything in our lives. Finally, we see that Jesus also emphasizes that, "For my time has not yet fully come." This statement reflects His unwavering commitment to the mission God has set before Him. He understood that there was a perfect timing for everything, including His own actions and revelations. He understood the very words of King Solomon in the book of Ecclesiastes, that there is time for everything. And this is something that we have to emulate and understand, that in our daily walk, in this journey on this planet, there is time for everything. And if it is not time for us to receive something, we would never receive it. But if it is time for God to give us that particular thing that we have been looking for, nothing can stop us. Let's understand this. Jesus truly understood this. And so His obedience to God's plan, even when it involved significant personal sacrifices and ultimately His own crucifixion on the cross, exemplifies the attitude we are called to emulate as followers of Jesus Christ. Our obedience to God's will is often tested in times of waiting and uncertainty. As we walk our faith journey, we may encounter moments where we are unsure of our next steps. I have faced this before, and I know you have as well. But in these moments of our lives, we must fully remind ourselves of Jesus' example. He did not rush ahead or act impulsively. Instead, He waited for the right time to reveal His glory. This patience and obedience to God's will and timing can be very difficult, especially when we seek for immediate answers and results. It can be very difficult to wait on God. But this is what we are called to do. We have to emulate Jesus' example of waiting for the perfect timing of God in our lives. Beloved, I encourage you to take this message to heart. And I want to stop and ask you a question. Are you waiting on God's timing for your life? Are you willing to act in faith even when the way forward is not clear? I entreat each of us today to spend time in prayer. Let's communicate with our God. Let's have fellowship with Him. Let's commune with Him in prayer, seeking His guidance and understanding. We should seek to become individuals who value obedience and patience, recognizing that our mission is not driven by our own desires, but driven by the purpose of God for us. Beloved, today, may we commit ourselves to waiting on the Lord, trusting that His timing is the best for us. And when it is time for Him to glorify Himself in our lives, nothing can stop that. Thank you for feeding your soul with today's spiritual food. God richly bless you, and see you tomorrow for another edifying and nourishing food.